Imagine taking a vacation to a beautiful, secluded beach house on the rocky coast of Oregon. You've got the ocean breeze, the sound of crashing waves, and a week of pure relaxation ahead of you. But what if I told you that the house you're staying in has been abandoned for 14 years? And what if, within hours of arriving, you realize you were never meant to come back? Today, we're looking at the terrifying, true experience of Michael, an LA photographer who took a trip with his friend's family to their long-lost coastal property. What started as a simple property dispute turned into a nightmare involving a missing relic, a weeping child, and a horrifying creature from local folklore. Turn off the lights, lock your doors, and let's dive into the cursed beach house of Oregon. Hello friends, welcome to our channel Ghost Story. I'm your friend Ratul. Today, I'm back with another brand new real-life story for you. I hope you'll listen to it till the end and let me know in the comments how you liked it, because these stories are made for all of you. Please support our new channel by liking the video, commenting, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing. If you or someone you know has experienced a strange, scary, or unforgettable incident, you're welcome to send me your story. I would love to share it with everyone on this channel. You'll find the link to my Instagram page in the description box, where you can message me your story directly. Michael, a towering 6'2" photographer, traveled up to the Oregon coast with his friend David and David's family, including his parents, grandmother, and 3-year-old nephew. They were there to settle some legal issues regarding a wooden beach house David's grandfather had left behind. It had sat completely empty and locked up for 14 long years. But the dread started before they even unpacked. As their car drove past an old, weathered maritime graveyard just miles from the property, the sleeping 3-year-old suddenly woke up screaming. It wasn't a normal cry, it was a look of pure terror. And the crying wouldn't stop. When they finally arrived at the damp, gloomy house, there was no electricity. But that was the least of their problems. When Michael went to check the bathroom, a room that had supposedly been sealed for over a decade, he froze. The wooden floorboards were completely soaked with fresh, puddling saltwater and draped in slimy green seaweed. It looked exactly like someone, or something, had just crawled out of the ocean and used it. Michael was a deeply faithful guy. He had packed a silver cross and a street Michael medallion to keep himself grounded. But when he unpacked his bag in the dusty bedroom, the relics were gone. Everything else was untouched, but his holy items had simply vanished. Trying to lighten the heavy mood of the house, Michael hung a set of metal wind chimes on the front deck. But the moment they began to ring in the sea breeze, an old, weathered fisherman from a neighboring cabin rushed over. His face was pale. He looked at Michael and strictly warned him, "Take those down. No wind chimes. No bells. Not in this house." They didn't know why, but they listened. That first night, as they slept in sleeping bags on the floor, everyone heard it. Around 2 a.m., thud, the distinct sound of 2 heavy feet jumping from the dead, twisted pine tree right onto the wooden deck outside. For hours, they listened to the wet, heavy footsteps pacing back and forth. No one dared to look out the window. By day 3, the toddler was violently ill. He was burning up with a mysterious fever and refusing to eat. Desperate, the family took the old fisherman's advice and called a local Native American healer. But when the healer arrived, he stopped dead in his tracks at the edge of the sand. He refused to step foot inside the house. Staring at the wooden structure, he muttered that the home was suffocating under a dark, maritime spirit. He performed a cleansing ritual for the little boy out on the beach, burning sage and handing them protective herbs before leaving as fast as he could. The very next day, David's grandmother was taking the trash out to a sandy disposal pit behind the house. Digging through the muck and discarded food plates, she found them, Michael's silver cross and medallion, buried in the filth. By the 5th night, they finally got a generator running. The cross was clean, the toddler was feeling slightly better, and the house had some light. Because of his 6'2" frame, Michael decided to sleep on a camp bed out on the screened portion of the wooden deck to get some space. Around 3 a.m., the temperature plummeted. Michael woke up with a start. He rolled over, and his blood ran cold. Crouched near the wooden railings, scratching at the floorboards, was a figure. It was a woman with sickeningly pale, translucent skin, dripping with wet seaweed. But her proportions were all wrong. She was squatting like a frog, yet her knees reached all the way up past her ears. Michael realized with pure horror that if she stood up, this entity would easily tower over his own 6'2" height. Before he could even scream, the creature noticed him. She didn't walk away. She just dissolved into the freezing, salty sea breeze, vanishing into thin air. By morning, Michael was struck with a violent fever. The family packed up immediately. They couldn't take it anymore. As they were loading the cars, the old fisherman walked over to say goodbye, and finally revealed the dark history of the property. About 7 years ago, a young fisherman from the town was lost at sea during a brutal storm. He left behind a wife, who was 6 months pregnant. In a cruel twist of fate, superstitious locals blamed the young widow, calling her a bad omen who caused her husband's death. Driven mad by grief and the relentless harassment, the pregnant widow walked onto their abandoned property one night. She tied a rope to that exact dead pine tree looming over the deck, and ended her life. According to local coastal lore, when a pregnant woman dies in that level of despair, her soul doesn't cross over. She becomes a banshee, a sea witch. That was why the bathroom was wet. That was why she hated the holy cross and the sound of the wind chimes. And that heavy thud they heard on the first night, that wasn't someone jumping from the tree. That was the sound of her spirit, endlessly reliving the drop. How did you like this story? If you enjoyed it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and support us. If you've ever experienced something similar, feel free to share your story with me on my Instagram page. You'll find the link in the description box. Thank you, cuties.